We have another section of the podcast called Secret Sauce.
Listen up, it's the secret sauce.
Ooh.
Yeah. Secret sauce is just a tip for current owners that, maybe something that's working well for you that they could implement into their business, or any kind of bit of wisdom or insight that you've learned owning your laundromat up to this point.
Yeah. For me, my favorite thing is talking to the customers and remembering their stories. Like, hey, I just had eye surgery 2 weeks ago, and I always follow up like, hey, how was that surgery? How's the progression with the surgery? Did it work, or
do I look better or worse?
Yeah. Remembering their story of what they talked to me about. So, and just remember names. They can't believe, oh, you remember my name? Like, yeah, I wrote it down. I remember. So that really has worked for me. And they keep coming back, hey, Roy, how you doing? Hey, you remember my name? Yeah. Yeah. So things like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that makes a huge difference, right? Like when somebody remembers your name, that automatically, I think that creates a connection, whether there was one there or not, but it's like, okay, this person cares enough to remember my name, that's meaningful. Right. So that's huge. That's awesome.
It is that. I think the human element, and of course, if you're owning 10, 15, 20 stores, it's more difficult to do that.
Right.
But
for you personally, but you can train your employees to be doing that too. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. That was a gentleman that we both had an interaction with years ago. I'll say his name, rest in peace, Lex Williamson. He was in Birmingham, Alabama. Lex owned an agency, owned a financial agency, and any event that you would go to, and if he met you, the next time he saw you, he knew your name, your wife's name, and your kid's name. Mm-hmm. That's off of meeting you one time for 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah.
And he was so great at that. He was so great at that. And people would run through a brick wall for him. They would do anything to protect him, whatever. But he spent so much time and energy focusing on people in that aspect, and it paid huge dividends. So I think it's something that both of us took and added to our everyday lives, and that empathy and that just the interest in other people. We always talk about how when you meet people and you ask them about themselves, they'll spend 20 minutes talking to you about everything they got going on, but they end up viewing you as the expert. Mm-hmm. And you can say anything.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I know.
But the truth is, most people don't get to talk about themselves very much.
Yep.
So,
yeah, it does make a big difference. And it's pretty funny that you say that that people talk and then they think you are the expert. I think that's so true and so right. But it's like you mentioned empathy. I always say that I think empathy is a superpower. Like if you have empathy, then you have the ability to connect with people and to influence people, hopefully in positive ways. Right. And I just think that, if you can develop your sense of empathy towards other people in whatever area of your life, whether that's at home with your spouse, with your kids, or in your business or your job or whatever it is, I think it's only going to pay off dividends for you. And I think empathy kind of gets a bad rap, especially for guys. But I love that. I think that's great secret sauce.
Yes.